Welcome all.
Yes, participants, are you able to hear me clearly? Okay. So, as far as today's session is being concerned, we will be going to study where we will discuss about how to perform sorting on elements in the linked list. Second is how to create multiple linked lists and various operations on multiple linked list. So, as far as the programming is been concerned, we have already studied that various types of linked list are there. Singly linked list is there, doubly linked list is there, circular linked list is there, and various operations on it is we see that there was polynomial representation of a linked list. Then we have also thought about how to combine multiple list and generate a bigger version of that. And finally, we will discuss about the sorting elements in the linked list. I'll just share a screen in a minute. Now, as far as array-based sorting is been concerned, it was very easy. But when we talk about linked list, it is a sequential access memory, and whereas arrays are been concerned, it is random access memory. So arrays are little faster as this sorting concept has been concerned. Now let us look to the sorting of contents using a linked list. Yes, participants able to view the screen? Yes, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So assume that this is your single linked list with the head node containing 50, then second node is 70, then 45, 55, 150, 170, and 145. So this is an unordered list. So we have to sort it in ascending order. The easiest way is we are creating a new list with the new head. So let the first element 50 with the head of the new list. So we use the term insert 50 and we created the first node, that is 50 followed by a null value. That means there is only one value or one node is created. Then second element is 70. So we issue a command name insert 70. So naturally 70 is greater than 50. So it will be appended at the end after 50. So this much is very easy. Now let us observe the further operation. So next is insert 45. So you can observe this 45 is less than 50. So it should be appended as the head node. So we inserted as insert 45 as head node because it is less than 50. Then next is 55. So where to insert it? So it is naturally it will compare with 45. 55 is greater than 45. So it will move to the next comparison, that is 50. Then again it is 55 is greater than 50. So it will go for the next comparison, that is 70. And since it is less than 70 but greater than 50, so it should be inserted after 50. So we issue a command that is insert after 50. Yes, participants, are you getting the three positions of insertion? First is we are inserting at the head node. Second is inserting after a particular node. And finally, the insertion change. Finally, the insertion after the particular node, that is insert between two nodes. And if it is greater than the end node, then it will be appended as the end node. So 55 has taken its position, which is in between 50 and 70. Let us move to the next element after 50. You can see 150. So while comparing it from first node to the last node, we find that 150 is greater than 70, hence it is appended at the end. Similarly, moving to 170, so 170 is again greater than anything in the list, so it will be appended at the end of the list. So 150, after 150, 170 is updated. Now let us move to the last element, it is 145. So it again start comparison from the head node and it sequentially check that 145 is in between 150 and 70. So it is less than 150 but greater than 70. So it is supposed to be inserted after 70. So you see over here, it is inserted after 70 at this point, and you can see using insertion of nodes, it takes very less cost to sort the linked list. Yes, participants, able to understand the easiest technique of sorting of contents using insertion of node. We have three insertion points. One is insertion at the head node, another is insertion at the end of the linked list, and finally insertion intermediate after a particular node. So if we insert at a particular position correctly, you can have the ascending order sorting. Yes, participants, any questions about sorting technique using insertion method or linked list? Now over here, what is it? It is memory consuming because we are creating a new linked list and the previous linked list may be deleted. If you want to use the same insertion or linked list which is original one, so over here you can apply bubble sort or you can apply selection sort techniques on this, assuming that the first node is nothing but array of 0, second node is array of 1, and so on. Okay. So other sorting methods can also be applied, but this insertion method is very flexible as far as sorting concept is being concerned. Yes, able to understand the sorting of elements from the linked list. Now let us come to the polynomial representation. So over here we have that tuple representation. Now if you want to represent this into a form of a tuple, it is written in this way, but when we have to use it theoretically, we put one more notation is there, that is 3 comma. What is 3 means? Total number of nodes that will be represented by the polynomial. So we'll see this in the programming concept. I'll share the screen with you in just a minute. We will talk about a doubly linked list where we can move in forward direction and reverse direction. Now if you observe this sorting thing, it is showing in only forward direction, but if I use doubly linked list, what will happen? We can print it in descending order also. So both ascending order and descending order can be printed if you use a doubly linked list. So that was the advantage part of it. Now let us practically implement it. So if you want to represent a linked list as a polynomial, so over here we'll change the structure of the node. First we'll have a coefficient and second data member is the exponent. Yes, participants, able to see the node structure? Yes, everyone? Okay. So over here we have, instead of data, we have coefficient and exponent. Now we have the structure as the next node and the previous pointers. So we have two pointers, next pointer and the previous pointer. Here we have defined a function to create a node. So this create node has only one function, that is allocate memory to a particular node. So how to allocate it? Declare a variable of type node, that is star t. Second, assign the coefficient, assign the exponent values, set its next pointer to null, and set its previous pointer to null. So if you observe it, the structure will be something like this. So over here, the first member is nothing but your coefficient. Second member is nothing but your exponent. And they will have two pointers. So let us first draw the structure and then we'll be able to understand it. So we have two pointers, one will be pointing to the previous pointer, another will be the next pointer. So let us say next pointer. So I write it as next pointer. And another is previous pointer. So as per the definition has been concerned, we have these four members for the node, and the next pointer initialize value will be null, and the previous pointer again his initial value will be null. So this is the diagrammatic view of our node. Everyone able to understand? So you can see this, that how the node diagram is converted over here. We have defined the node, that is coefficient, exponent, next pointer and previous pointer. So we set the values for that node. First we set the coefficient and the power, which are argument to the function create node. And finally what is written is nothing but the address of t, that is the address of node. Now we assume that we are going to only append the contents. So in append function we just create the node with parameters as coefficient and power or exponent, and just append the nodes to the end. So E is over here is the end node, and the two parameters are coefficient and power. So your head or starting node for appending is nothing but E, that is the end node. So we say end arrow next is equal to the new node T, T arrow previous is equal to the end node, and shifting the end node to the position of T. So E is equal to T, and setting E arrow next is equal to null. So this is where we're appending a new values to it. So this was the logic for appending. Now next is simply we are going to print the nodes. So we print in the format of coefficient followed by exponent, starting from the head node. So h is equal to t. So t is the temporary variable for storing the head of the list, and we just print it until t is not equal to null. So it is in a loop. To moving from one node to another, we use t is equal to t arrow next. Now we have the three functions. So you remember that we have written these three functions. One is the create node, second is the append node, and third node is print node, that is print list. Now our main function will utilize these three functions to create multi-list. So let us say we have the list one with at least two parameters. We have the head node and the end node. Then if you want to create the second list, again it will have the same description. We have the head one and the end one. Yes, participants understood these two lines. So we are going to create two lists, and their pointers are head one and head. Okay. Now let's assume this is our tuple representation of the linked list. So over here you observe the first element, that is 5. Everyone able to see this? Let make me a little bigger so you can able to see the array. Yes, participants able to view the array? Yes, it is. Is it visible? I think. So over here, the first element,
Yes, sir.
first element in the array is 5. That means it contains, the linked list will contain 5 nodes. Okay. Therefore, we say T nodes, that is total number of nodes, is nothing but array of 0. So it will take 5 as the input. Now, the very beginning, we have to create the head node. So we create the node and pass two parameters, that is array of 1 and array of 2. So array of 1 is nothing but 10 and array of 2 is nothing but 4. So these are the two parameters which are passed to the head node. And since AND is also equal to the head node, this is a very important statement for continuation purpose. So we set AND is equal to head because there is only one node created. Now what we want to do, we want to create multiple nodes. So here we have used index 0, index 1 and index 2. So what is remaining? Index 3. So we start I is equal to 3, I is less than equal to number of nodes multiplied by 2 minus 1. Why 2? Because each node contains 2 elements. Therefore, we multiply the total number of nodes multiplied by 2 minus 1 and I plus plus. Let us see how it is appended. So we know that the linked list is appended at the end. So append function, end is the input. That means we are going to connect the new node at the end, and we are passing the two parameters, that is array of I and array of I plus 1, and simply increasing I plus plus. That is, we are increasing I to S, and you can observe that the linked list 1 will be updated with the following contents as 10, 4, then 5, 3, 15, 2, and 4, 1, 2, 0. If you want to see the result of this, we'll just compile it and see. So let us observe that this is the output of list 1. Are you able to see, participants? So it is 10 raised to 4. So this was the first node, that head node. Then second node is 5, 3. So you can see the output over here, 5, 3. Then 15, 2. So you can observe 15, 2 and 4, 1. Over here it is, and finally 2, 0. So we have just represented in the tuple format. If you want some more modifications, for example, if you want this 5 to be printed, you can use your own logic for printing this purpose. Now let us see how to create multiple head nodes, multiple linked lists simultaneously. So using the same concept over here, we have to define the array, we have to define the capacity number of nodes, we have to set the total number of nodes, and then use the for loops. So we'll apply the same on array 2. So we create second array, that is array 1. Again we have 5 number of nodes. The first node, that the head node, will have the value 20, 4, that is 20 raised to 4. Second will be 15, 3. Next is 25, 2. Then 10, 1 and 3, 0. So over here, we will find the total number of nodes over here. That is array of I1 into the square bracket 0. That means array of 0 will give us 5. The total number of nodes that will be created is 5. So creating the first node, we have the sample input as array of 1 and array of 2. And again, the end node of the second list is equal to the head node of the second list. Using the same for loop concept, we are going to append AND1 with the coefficients and the power options and increment I. Now, in order to print the first list, so we have already seen the output of the first list. Now let us see the output of the second list. I'll compile. So for better understanding, we will just print the second list. We can compare it directly. You can see the second list. It is 20 raised to 4, that is the head node. Then there is 15 raised to 3 and 25 to 10 raised to 1 and 3 raised to 0. So it is a tuple representation, but it is quite confusing. Now I'll make a simple change to it and see what happens. So I'll make a change in the print list. Instead of comma, we'll change the sign with exponential operator. So just change it to exponent and see what happens to the output. You can see it shows 20 raised to 4, 15 raised to 3. Yes, participants able to view?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now again, if we make a simple change over here, I'll just make a simple checkout that with the if condition and I put the sign as plus sign. See, so you see that it is 20 raised to 4 plus 15 raised to 3 plus 25 raised to 2 plus 10 raised to 1 plus 3 raised to 0. Yes, participants able to understand the tuple representation of a linked list.
Yes, sir.
So any polynomial can be molded using a linked list representation. Only thing is you have to understand the first element in the array is given us as number of nodes. It is very important. Now your task is, can we add two polynomials by this? So naturally we have to compare the exponents of them. If the exponents are matching, then just add the coefficients and we can create the list. So is it possible for us to check it out? So we'll also first we'll print both the contents and we'll see how it is possible to generate a new list from this. Okay. So now we have two arrays, array 1 and array 2, and our task is to add the contents of the polynomial. So I use addition method. Addition of contents. Now I am not using Cin over here because it is unable to work with the online system for the arguments. It is very difficult. So we are directly assigning the values in the form of arrays. So here, but in real time or dynamic systems, you can take the input from the user using Cin concept. Now, in order to add the array, I use for loop I is equal to 0 semicolon. So instead of starting with 0, I'll start with 1 semicolon. I plus I is less than 3 node, now that is number of nodes multiplied by 2 semicolon I plus plus. Now let us add the arrays. So we put some array of I is equal to array of I plus array 1 of I. Then we are assuming that the exponents are matching and both have the linked list as same. So I just increase this I plus plus and nothing else. Let us modify the contents. So I create the output and it should be generating the third node. So over here we will declare this as head 2 and end 2. So again we have the options over here, that is array of 0 0 is nothing but your total number of nodes. So T node. Just compile it. Okay, there is no error. Now we have to just create the new list after this. So I simply append this code. The since our array is same, so instead of head, we are creating head 2 and 2 and head 2. So over here we have second head, that is head 2 and end 2. Finally we are appending it to end, and after that we are using print list function, and the parameter to the print list is nothing but your head 2. And let us check whether we get the updated result. Okay, so here no int is required. So we are getting the results, that is cout \n addition of the two polynomials. So let us check. You can see 10 raised to 4, 20 raised to 4, we are getting the output as 30 raised to 4. Yes, participants able to understand the addition of two polynomials? So you can see this, that is 10 raised to 4 first list, then 20 raised to 4, then the addition is 30 raised to 4. Next 5 raised to 3, 15 raised to 3, and we are getting 45 raised to 3. So over here it is 15 plus 10, 15 plus 5, it should give us 20 raised to 3. So over here it is little changes. So what is the change? We have to use array of I. Here should be array of I. Yes, so it is 5 raised to 3 plus 15 raised to 3, we are getting 20 raised to 3. Next is 15 raised to 2, 25 raised to 2, we are getting 40 raised to 2. And finally 4 raised to 1, 10 raised to 1, we are getting 14 raised to 1. And the last one 2 raised to 0, 3 raised to 0, we are getting answer as 5 raised to 0. So this is the simplest example for addition of two polynomials if their degree, highest degree, you can say, degree of polynomial is same. Now what happens if the degree of the polynomial is not similar? So if the degree of the polynomial is not similar, then we have to order that as per the degree. So everyone, you can see that it is of order. You can observe the first array. So over here it is 4 is the highest degree, then after that it is 3, then after that it is 2, then after that it is 1, and then it is 0. So whenever you quote a polynomial, it is mandatory that it should be an ordered polynomial and not an unordered polynomial. In exams also, when you do tuple representation, it is expected that you order the polynomial with respect to the degree, either highest degree at the beginning or the highest degree at the end, but it should be an ordered format. Yes, participants able to understand the basic program of multilist. Here we studied about how to create multiple lists, multiple heads we can say. So each will have a separate linked list and we can perform the first operation on that was polynomial addition. Yes, participants able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'll share this code with you so that you can practice, because lots and lots of things are dependent on these functions, that is how to create multiple head list. So I just share the code for you. So first is creating the class. Second is for creating a separate node. Next is appending the contents, that is extending the linked list. So this is a major part of it. Print list is as per our format, whatever format you describe. So that is the part of print list. And the main program will be designed as your requirement. So you can have that multi-line main program. You can optimize it if you wish by designing functions and eliminating for loops. So optimization can also be possible. So this were as far as today's session has been concerned. We have given you a technique for creating multiple lists, and one of the example we have studied about the multiple list is appending the contents and polynomial addition. So this was the easiest example for polynomial addition. We have to modify it for polynomial addition. I have just given it for the head list code. So you can create multiple head list and add the polynomial. So what is the challenge that you have to match the exponents, and if the exponents are matching, then you sum up with the polynomial coefficients. Another challenging thing that is to be done with is multiplication of two polynomials. So that is a part of assignment also. We will also complete that task. Now let us do something more interesting. Just give me a minute. So these were as far as polynomial additions are been concerned. Now let us append or concatenate two lists in such a way that it will become one. So I'll use the same example over here, and instead of this third addition code, we'll remove this third addition code. I just remark the third list. We don't want that. We want to append two lists, that is new is concat
Sir,
nation.
not able to view the screen.
One second, I'll share it. Yes, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So concatenation of two linked list. So we can say we have concatenation of two list or merging of list. So let us see the output is what expected is the head node. So we have two things. We have head and another is head one. So what will be the logic? Simply end of the first list is equal to head 1 of the second list. So this is the logic of it, and since it is using the previous pointer, so we'll set the head previous pointer over here, head 1 previous is equal to end. Now shifting of end. So how to shift is end is equal to end 1 and finally print the list. So we'll see whether we are able to merge the two lists, and finally we have to print with the same head. So our new head is nothing but your old head name head. So we have to use these three concepts. So let us open it up. The first is end arrow next is equal to head 1. So second line head arrow previous, so head 1 arrow previous is equal to end. This is head 1. Now next is we have to shift end is equal to end 1. So we have shifted it, and let us try to see the output. So you can see this, it has been merged. So it is 10 is to 4, 5 is to 3, 15 square, 4 is to 1, 2 is to 0. Then again we are getting the new list 20 is to 4, 15 is to 3 and up till 3 is to 0. Yes, participants able to understand how to merge or concate two lists. So here is the code for this. Only two lines for this. That is end arrow next is equal to head 1. Head 1 arrow previous is equal to end, and end is equal to end 1. So if you just add the contents or link the pointers, you can see that even though the links are being separated, you can interconnect them, join to the main head. So it doesn't matter that how many heads are there, you can interconnect it. Okay, is it clear everyone? Yes, participants, can we say that a linked list can contain multiple heads? So by this concatenation process, we come to the conclusion. What we conclude? A linked list can be designed with multiple intermediate head nodes. Yes, participants, do we agree? 1 second. So over here you can see the code for concatenation. Yes, able to see participants? 3 lines of code is there. And arrow next is equal to head 1. Head 1 is the second linked list. Head 1 arrow previous is equal to end, and end is equal to end 1. So when we run this code, you can see the output over here. So the first list is as it itself. So you can see it is ending with 2 raised to 0. The second list is starting from 20 raised to 4 and ending with 3 raised to 0. And this is the merged one, which is starting with 10 raised to 4 and it is ending with 3 raised to 0. So appending two lists or concatenation of two lists is very easy. Only few statements are there. So we can say that the complexity involved in concatenation of two arrays and two linked lists. So better is to use linked list for concatenation or dynamic size increasing, and we come to the conclusion that a linked list can be designed with multiple intermediate head nodes. Do you agree with this now? So there are two head nodes now, head and head 1, and they are merged in one. Now let us take, if this kind of structure is to be designed, we say that it is generalized linked list. So in theory, we have the concept of generalized linked list where multiple tuples can be defined, and in the tuple representation there can be multiple linked list association, or you can design it in your own way. So that is the concept of generalized linked list. If you are able to design it into multiple ways like a tree-like structure, then it will happen that you can insert multiple linked list into one single linked list. Yes, participants able to understand the concept of generalized linked list. So in order to practically involve with the structures of generalized linked list, we can have in tomorrow's session, we will discuss about the data structures that is involved in generalized linked list, and a very instruction data structure which is associated with multiple linked list, and without using multiple heads, can we use multiple pointers for the same application? That could save the space also. So we will see the concept of skip list in tomorrow's session. So as far as today's session is concerned, we have discussed about sorting of the list, then we have discussed about polynomial representation, we have discussed about multiple linked list, and finally merging of that multiple list. So I think this code you can I'll just put it for the concatenation operation, so you can, I'll put it in the chat box. The code for concatenation operation. Now as far as today's lesson is concerned, so you give CO01 and the code for that is 29. So attendance code is CO0129. If any questions, study properly, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me in coming session. So thank you for attending the session. We'll terminate the session over here.